The Holiday Inn in Auburn, New York is the perfect place to rest your head during an adventure in the Finger Lakes. With over 180 rooms that are freshly renovated, you can't beat the atmosphere of the Holiday Inn. The Holiday Inn will also keep you cool in the hot summer months with their indoor pool area. When you're done in the pool, their new restaurant, Burger Theory, will help you wet your whistle with amazing brews from all over the country and the local market, and offer some great fresh food options for you to enjoy. Book your stay today. Call us at 315-253-4531 and make your visit a memorable one by staying at the Holiday Inn. In Pinckney Equipment on Mutton Hill Road, just off Grand Avenue, right here in Auburn, is the headquarters for Ferris and Simplicity lawnmowers, and also for the New Holland Boomer and Workmaster compact tractors. Whether you've got a small yard or an expensive estate, we've got the power equipment that you need. Sales, replacement parts, and an expert service department. At Main and Pinckney, your wish is our command. Main and Pinckney, serving customers in the central New York region since 1963.
Collision at 122 Clark Street has been setting the standard for collision repair since 1978. That's right, for 40 years, Mickey and his staff of highly trained professionals have been getting you back on the road after your car wreck. Mickey's services all makes and models and works with all insurance companies to ensure your experience is exceptional. Why go anywhere else when you already know Mickey's is the best? And as he always says, it's my name on the building, the only name you need to know.
Are you hungry? Let's eat. New Hope Mills is a rustic country cafe and local store celebrating a heritage of mastering the perfect pancake. Their flavorful pancakes and baked goods are crafted to give an authentic and tasteful breakfast or lunch experience that you can't find anywhere else. While you're here, you'll feel at home. You'll enjoy a delicious meal, and you'll discover something new. Come and see us at the New Hope Mills Cafe and Store, located at 181 York Street in Auburn.